Yo, goons. What's good? Today, I'm going to try to make this short and sweet, a little bit of Goldlewis technology for you. And what we're going to be talking about is Goldlewis's wall slumps. So, Goldlewis actually does have access to slumping the opponent. I'm not aware of a way he can loop it, but he can slump an opponent, and it's pretty strong. So, with that being said, let's talk about how to do it. So, you're going to need meter a lot of the time, one way or another, to set up these slumps. But you can get access to them pretty easily mid-screen just by knowing the right combo. And the starter you're going to be looking for is going to be either a counter hit 5k or a counter hit close slash. And usually counter hit close slash is going to be better. This is basically what it looks like. So that's how you get a slump on the opponent from mid-screen. Generally you're going to be doing close slash to dash cancel close slash, and then jump cancel JH, slightly delay your JH to JD, so make sure the JD tries to land low to the ground. And also note that once JD connects low to the ground, you have a lot of plus frames on hit, so make sure you go up and get into close slash range, and then you do your dash cancel blue RC quickly. And that's really the only trick to the combo, is to make sure you're delaying that JD after the JH, and to run up and get the close slash afterward. But there's an even easier way to do it. This is what that looks like. Don't even need to get that other close slash in there, but I do think that's going to be better most of the time, unless you can do it the way I just did it anyway. Now this is also useful because if you land the JHJD in the corner, then most of the time you can actually pretty reliably get nearly enough wall damage to slump. So that's basically what it looks like when you land your JD, what you're going to be going for. Now notice that that didn't splat on its own, but you have to think of when your JH is actually going to land, when you're going to be getting that instant JH overhead. And as you can probably guess, it's going to be off of the fuzzy. So I talk about the ways to set up fuzzy overheads in my other videos, but I think the most reliable way to get this one in the corner is going to be off of the blue RC mix-up. Something like that, right? That's going to be your fuzzy overhead mix-up. And just note that because of blue RC slowdown here, you have time to run up and get like right on top of them, and it will still be a fuzzy overhead. And that also throws off the opponent's fuzzy guard timings for the mix-up. This is just a side note as to why that mix-up is good. You can also do this for the low option. And that will basically catch people trying to fuzzy guard, and you get an 8-4-2 into full combo in the corner. It's really great. Good stuff. Very strong mix-up. But anyway, that situation actually pops up pretty often, because how often are you going to be able to go for a close slash mix-up in the corner, right? It usually means, especially if you have meter, that the opponent was knocked down before that. And oftentimes you set this up off of a throw. And I'll just show you here that if they have a throw's worth of wall damage, this is actually going to slump. And you can see there, if you have a throw's worth of wall damage, you are actually going to be able to wall slump if you land that fuzzy overhead. So what you're going to be doing a lot of the time is as follows. Let's say you had a knockdown on the opponent. You go for the classic drone mix-up, get your tick throw going, and then you're just going to go for your meaty basically. And that's where you go for the fuzzy. And if that connects, boom, you're gaming. You can look to get a wall slump. So that's the gist of this video. That's mainly what I wanted to go over. Those are like the two places you're going to be looking to fuzzy people, and you can get it rather consistently. And I do think unless you're going to kill, that close slash punish is going to be getting you more value than pretty much any other punish most of the time. I mean, you're using up meter to get a slump rather than blowing that meter on a hard knockdown into positive bonus. But I personally think it's worth it. In general, it's going to be more damage on average in my own opinion. And you can also be looking for it for anywhere basically closer than mid-screen. Your mid-screen counter hit close slash conversion is pretty solid as well though. Now a couple of little things to note. Number one, many people will say the JHJD is a worse fuzzy option than JKJD because JH has more startup than JK. And that is technically true, but it's not enough of a difference so that people will reliably react to the fuzzy there. It's still going to be a fuzzy overhead. Especially if you do the micro dash forward, people are not going to be able to fuzzy block it or any shenanigans like that as long as you're doing your mix-ups properly. And doing JH gives you more control over delaying your JD, which is the important part of getting these slump combos so that you can pick up with close slash once you reach the ground. The other thing I wanted to mention is that there are other ways to set up this slump, but they kind of require you being really knowledgeable on Goldlewis conversions and also pretty creative, so I'll show some examples of that. So there would be one example if you get a JD and you have the presence of mind to jump in at 6-6 BRC in the air and make sure you just keep everything grounded. You can get a slump off that if there's some wall damage done. And also if you manage to find a counter hit 5k here and there as well, it can work. So there are many more creative ways to find out how you can set up this slump in various situations, but the general principle is going to be the same. To build up wall damage and corner carry and everything, to keep the opponent grounded, you're going to be doing these JH, slight delay, JD, close slash loops, and using dash cancels and BRCs to make sure that you can keep your combo going. So that's the idea behind the slumps, and I think it's a nice thing to add to your arsenal. So I guess we'll finish off by talking about what you can actually do once you have the opponent slumped. So before getting into that, I definitely would recommend that you watch the running 862 and 842 videos on my channel, especially part 2, because we're going to be utilizing those buffer tricks here to do this kind of thing. And this is basically going to be your mix-up once you have the opponent slumped in the corner, and that's really, really, really good. So the general idea is once you have them slumped, if you're close enough, you want to do backdash into drone, so you'll end up like around this distance. And then from there you can go into your runnings if you have the timing right. Or alternatively, you could just do the very simple old-fashioned way of jumping in with 862 and 842. But it's sort of more ambiguous if you can do the runnings. I think that's a lot better. Sometimes you can do drone and then 5p and then you're running. Get your extra delay there. It's pretty good. As a side note, here's a mix-up that is kind of similar to that. That's also solid. The idea is basically the same as any running mix-up, which is you're using the end lag of a move to get your up part of your 862 and 842 in there, and then find a disgusting reset with what looks like a raw 862, 842, using the buffer tricks I talk about in those other videos. This kind of thing. So definitely check that out if you haven't already. So it's going to be the same principle in the corner, right? Same kind of idea. So that's kind of the idea behind the mix-up that you're going to be wanting to go for there. Just note that one more word of caution on this kind of thing is that you don't want to drone too early, because that's kind of the only way you lose value on this mix-up is if the drone just wall breaks them as they're unslumping. If you didn't know, you can actually still be wall broken while you're unsticking off the wall if you're in a slump, so you need to give the drone a little bit of extra time there, and also throw in a 5p to get your buffers going for the runnings, right? You can also do something really simple though. So I delay my drone, jump forward, go for the 842, get my wall break. And you can see that that's just an absolute shit ton of damage in total cumulatively. It's going to be a lot more than if you had just gone for your close slash conversion mid-screen, which is the theory behind doing this whole wall slump shenanigans anyway. And even if they block your mix-up, you're still in the corner with a ton of plus frames, so it's a great position to be in. Anyway, that's all I really wanted to go over for this video, my goons. Appreciate that. Thank you for watching. Happy New Year. If you want to see more, twitch.tv/me_lolo. I do stream my stream tournament runs here and there, so yeah, check it out. Goodbye.